My name's Jason, I'm an addict. Thanks for having me here today to share. Thanks for the cup of tea. Thanks for everyone that puts the meeting on. Hope. It's a bit of a strange one for me because one of the questions in step 2 was, what do you hope for? And I remember phoning my sponsor when I phoned him and said, I ain't having that. I don't believe in. What do you mean hope? I know I'm going to stay clean. I don't hope to stay clean. I know I'm going to stay clean. And he said, no, you're looking at it all wrong. Like, just tell me things, write down things that you hope to happen in your future for the better. And that kind of got me thinking about what did I hope for at that stage? Because I was about 60, probably about 80, coming up from my 1990, so I was nearly 3 months clean by then. And I was still fucked, I was still mental. I'm still mental today. Like, I have to do a lot of work on myself to stay hopeful, really, because I confused hopefulness with optimism. And like, optimism to me was like, I had optimism about staying clean. So that's all I sat there for, thinking, yeah, I'm going to stay clean. If I go to meetings, I'll stay clean, I'll stay clean, I'll stay. But that's like a passive thing. Like, you don't, with optimism, you don't have to do a lot of work. You just sit there, basically hoping with no action. The actual real definition of hope for me is to put some action in to get what you're hoping for. So I can't really start this share properly without saying how hopeless I was before I come into NA, and I was hopeless. Like, we've all learnt our seat here. I don't have to give a war story about why I'm sitting up here, but for one instance, I remember racking up a line of my drug of choice, rolling up the note and crying. And I remember the teardrop went in my actual gear. That pissed me right off, right? Because that spoiled what I've just paid money out of for. But I remember crying, just hoping to stop, man. I just wanted to stop doing drugs. I couldn't fucking stop myself. So really I was hopeless, because although I hoped to stop, there I was crying, rolled up on the note, doing a bit of wet gear. Like, that is hopeless, like real hopeless. And fast forward, at the end, I lost my family. My kids didn't want to talk to me. They were embarrassed about me. My girlfriend at the time, she kicked me out. I was homeless. Yeah, I never said, that's another thing when I come in here, like homelessness. I was never homeless because I always had a home to go to. I always had like my mums or my brothers, or like someone would always put me up. So in my head, I was never homeless. What are you talking about? But I was sofa surfing, man. Like, I'm very hopeless then as well. I was fucking useless at that. Like, and I remember this time now coming into NA that I thought, right, what have I got to do? What have I got to do to stay clean and live a proper life? And I remember coming back to my first meeting. You listen, you see people that are well, and I see a lot of people in these rooms that I'd left like 2.5 years previous. Because I got 18 months clean before of all drugs, but I was gambling a hell of a lot, and I weren't being truthful. I was lying still, and my addiction come out in another way. I wasn't working a program. I was just showing up to 2 meetings a week and going along with the ride. Oh yeah, I ain't had a drink, I ain't had drugs. Like, whoopee, look at me. But I was acting out in worse ways with gambling, if I'm honest, worse ways. And in the end, I picked up a drink. I think it was Nan's, my auntie Betty's funeral. And I'd already planned, before I turned up there, I'd already planned to pick up that drink. I knew what I was doing. And that was it. Once I had a few drinks, fast forward a year, I'm using every day. I'm lying to everyone. I'm fucking hopeless. And then I come back and I thought, right, this time I'm going to do it right. I will do a 90-90. After before 30 days, I got a sponsor. He said, you've got to get 30 days clean before you start working the steps. And I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up people's arse and say, oh, I'm a genius at steps, because I'm the slowest, most procrastinator. I just put it off all the time. Like, I'm on step 3 at the moment. I've probably been on step 3 for about 6-7 months, if truth be told. But it's a process. It's going to take time for me. I know that. But what I got from these rooms was a lot of hope, in the sense of I see people in my head that had a worse addiction than me, because I never touched heroin. I'm a better addict than everyone. They're worse than me. I ain't in their desperate need. And then you hear their stories and you think, wow, man, like, that's some dark stuff that they've gone through. And now look at them. Look at the light in their eyes. Look at how their life is. They're years down the road clean. Like, that's hope in itself. And I thought, if they can do that from where they come from, in my deluded head, where I weren't so bad, because I never hurt no one in my using, biggest load of bullshit I've ever told myself ever. If they can do it, I can do it. And that's hope right there for me, seeing it. I need the evidence to believe in it. And like I say, I had hope and optimism very confused. And that's why I'm lucky for my first ever sponsor the first time round, and he told me about dictionary definitions. And I laugh at that now, because I used to slag it off thinking, oh, well, what did I learn? Just the definition of a word. The fact is, I needed it because I needed to really work out what hope meant. Optimism is totally different for me. Like, I'm optimistic that something nice could happen. Hope is a belief that it can happen. Hope is working it so it can fucking happen. And like I say, I had the hope. I come into these rooms. I had the hope of my fellow addicts around me that you can get clean and you can stay clean. And I just put some action in, and I really did put some action in. And when I walked through these doors, a few people know, I was 26 stone, I was overweight, I was a mess of a man. I couldn't handle life in any aspect. And I thought to myself, right, the first thing I've got to tackle for me is my weight. And I did. I put the gym, and I'm sitting in, I'm not saying it, so don't take my advice on because it's fucking mental. I put the gym before my recovery for that first 6 months, because I just went to war with myself, and I had to do that for myself. And then I started noticing the weight coming off. So I thought, right, I've got a bit of hope here. I can actually get to somewhere and start loving myself. Because I hated myself, I hated my appearance. And I masked that with the drink and drugs all the time. Didn't know it, but that's probably what it was a lot of the time. And I started noticing the weight come off. Then I had a lot of hope about that. Yes, I can improve my living standards. I can improve my health. Then that's when, after about 6 months, I believed I could stay clean. I genuinely started to believe for the first time in my life I could stay clean. And that was just through the fellowship and NA. It was just the meetings was keeping me clean. Then I picked up service. And that was another thing that was nice to me. Offering my help to other people. Like, I'd been so self-serving in myself. Everything I'd done in my life was for me. No one else, yet I could mask it as I was doing it for others. I could mask it, I was doing it for my kids. Oh, I'm going to work for my kids, or I'm working this hard for my kids. No, that's a load of bollocks. I worked as hard as I did because I needed money to support my fucking addiction, fact. And then, so when I started up service in NA, I took on a greeter's position, and then I started an IT position. Then I started another greeter's position, and then room set up, and I'm now a treasury at a meeting as well. And I've got 3 lots of service still today, 18 months down the line. And that helps me, because if I give service back, I'm hoping the next person that needs some help walks through that door, sees me and gets hope from me. And I don't think if I've done service, I could just be sitting there giving nothing back. And again, that falls back into the optimism category where, yeah, I'm hoping to stay clean, but I'm not doing fuck all about it. Whereas if I give service, I'm also putting hope in myself that I'm going to turn up every day. I'm going to turn up to them commitments. I'm going to give my best, do you know? And I do love NA. I do love NA because the hope it has given me in life. I'm no longer that person that was rolling up a note, crying in a bit of gear. I wake up every day knowing that today's another day, I can stay clean, and my life is going to get better. And that's all I hope for, is just be clean today, because I know tomorrow will be another day. If I use today, tomorrow's going to be a shit show. Or tomorrow might never ever come. That's the reality of my disease. Tomorrow might not even come. It's not about being a shit show, it just might not even come, man. And I know if I go to bed tonight, I will go to bed hopeful that tomorrow will be a better day. If it's not, I know I've got the tools in NA to help me get through it. I'll pick up the phone, speak to fellow addicts. I turn up to a meeting. If it's there, I will find one. And 9 times out of 10, I find just speaking to a fellow addict, or when someone rings me, picking up that phone, because I'm very good at when someone phones me. If I see the name, I think, nah, I can't be bothered to talk to you today, mate. You're too much. And I won't do it. And in the last 18 months, that has got so much better. I see that name and I think, yeah, this is going to be a shit phone call. But I take the call anyway, because I hope that I might be able to help this person. And every time I've done that, not only have I helped them, they've helped me, because I've heard their problems, I've heard their misery. And that fucking reminds me, I don't want to go back there. I really don't. And I don't really know what much more to say about hope, because, like I say, I'm not great on subjects. If you'd have asked me to do a experience strength and hope, I could talk all day, but hope's a really difficult one for me, in the sense of that all I know is every day I just wake up and I'm hopeful that I don't pick up another drug again, and NA gives me the tools to do that. And I did look, because I was getting paranoid about this stuff, right? So the three key elements of hope are desire, expectation, and motivation. So desire is easy for me, because if I want something to happen, I will work my arse off to make it happen. And before I found NA, I wouldn't. I would always, I can do that tomorrow. I can do that tomorrow. So NA's given me a desire to stay clean. It's given me a desire to set goals and try and chase them goals. So desire I've got not a problem with. But expectation, it's a massive stumbling block to me. Because I used to, when I was phoning my sponsor regularly in my early days, he said, I say you suffer with expectation of everybody else. So that's confusing as fuck to me, because I expect others to act in a certain way. As soon as they don't, that's it, I'm over with them. I'll disregard them, I'll ignore them, and I won't talk to them. Right? But what I've kind of learnt about a healthy expectation is to believe in the desires that I have to come true. Like, not believe in a fairy tale story that I think you're going to do to me, because I'm a super paranoid person and I don't trust you. Like, my daughter, for instance, I can talk about her. Like, if I phone her and she don't pick up the phone, already I'm expecting her to have a problem with me. Like, what have I done wrong? She ain't picking up the phone to me, blah, blah, blah. My head will tell me a million different expectations of what I've done wrong. 10 minutes will pass of me bashing myself. She'll phone me back, go, sorry Dad, I was just in the shower. And there's silly things like that. My expectation for things like that are really bad. And NA has given me the ability now to expect good stuff. It's not all, my expectations were very negative. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, they were so negative. NA's given me the belief and the hope that my expectations are very hopeful, and a very good outcome can come from my expectations instead of being a very negative one. And then the third one it said was motivation. Well, listen, I'm sitting here, 17 stone by the way, not 26, not 26. So that's motivation right there, and I've proved that. I know I've got motivation. I didn't think I had it. In my using, the only thing I was motivated for, mate, was picking up my drug of choice and motivated to get out of my nut very quickly. And I was fucking brilliant at that. I flipped that on its head. I'm very motivated now into being the healthiest version of myself, the best version of myself. And that's going to take a process because, like I say, I'm still very hot-headed at times. I can still be a bit of an arsehole, acknowledge, mate. But with NA, I have got hope that tomorrow I can be 1% better than I was yesterday. And that's the only thing I can say about hope. All I hope for sitting up here today is I hope I've given you a good message about hope. Not that I think I have, because I will batter myself all the way home. Don't worry about that. And yeah, I'm just hopeful, that I've got a good life ahead of me. But I've got to action that. I can't just rock up. I can't just sit in that chair and not share back. I can't not give service. And fundamentally, I know I've got to do the steps. And it's been coming at me big time in the last 2 weeks about step work because I've procrastinated an awful lot about it. And I won't sit here and lie and say I'm really into it. I read every day because that's bullshit. I pray every day. I meditate every day. I go to the gym every day, and I turn up to meetings and talk to a fellow addict near enough every day. And that, to me, I will convince myself that's enough. But I know it's getting to the point in my recovery now where it's not enough. I know I need to change properly inside. I'm changing bit by bit, day by day, little bits at a time. But I know if I put that pen to paper more frequently, the change would happen better. And because I live off, there's a certain lad in this meeting today, I live off him doing his steps. It's because I talk to him a lot. He's doing all the written work and I'm thinking, yeah, I'll take that in. So it's like being back at school, like on a test, seriously. It's like looking over his shoulder going, yeah. All right, I'll take that on board. And it's a cheating way of doing it. I know it's a cheating way of doing it because I'm not writing it. Other people are writing it and I'm listening to it and I'm picking up on it and I'm learning more about myself through it. So yeah, today I am hopeful that when I leave here, I will pick up that pen tonight and start my steps again because I know that is where the real change happens. So I hope that you've all got something nice from that. If you don't, get to another meeting. You'll definitely find something you relate to. Thanks for listening to me and I'll leave it there, Chair.
Thank you very much.